Hola, buenos días. Comenzamos con un poquito de retraso.
Good morning. We're going to start a little late. It's quite the standard procedure for a second working day in this third conference of Design for All in 2009. We hope that you enjoyed yesterday. I am aware that they were very interesting session. I really enjoyed, and I enjoyed in the widest sense of the word. I had fun watching the type of projects that are being submitted. We are really fans of technology. So just a few housekeeping announcements before I introduce the first morning speaker. Housekeeping announcement regarding the conference today. We will have breakfast at a different place. We will have breakfast at the courtyard outdoors because there's going to be a direct live television broadcasting. So we will enjoy the outdoors when we finish. We also have dinner in this courtyard for speakers and scientific committee meeting, and the supper it will be at the Hotel NH Constanza in Deuimata number 9. Is slightly not very close to this place, so we are going to take taxis to go there. Also, as of today, we have attendance certificate in the counters outside. So for those of you who may need it, you can ask for one. Our next speaker is Miguel Ángel Valero Duboy. He is a professor at the engineering and computer engineering and architecture at the Polytechnical University in Madrid. He is well known in at the ONCE Foundation and with very nice references too, because we've been working together for a long time. And just to stress that he is very committed with social issues at all levels, and more so, very committed with what we are now beginning to call social technology, technology for people and with people. So also like to stress he's a great person, not just in size because he's very tall, but also because he's not just physically, but morally. So Miguel Ángel, without further ado, the floor is yours, as they say in English.
Asistentes, muchas gracias.
Pues muchas gracias a ti, Enrique, por tu sincera presentación.
Thank you, Enrique, for your very sincere and candid introduction. And thank you to the organizers and the ONCE group and very many different bodies and associations represented here today. For me, it's a great pleasure to be once again with DRT, big people, because you do have friends, potential friends for sure, and existing friends in the audience. And it is not always easy to have a multidisciplinary approach and representatives from all different foundations and associations, and this is a very positive environment. So the first conference, for this morning session is Expectation Towards Digital, Accessible and Intelligent Home. The most important part of this title is the meaning of the word expectations and intelligent. Although I will be talking about digital home at the beginning of my paper today, and I could also be talking about accessibility. Many experts in the audience are aware of this concept, so I would like to share with you practical demo of what we do at TISIC, Technology for Information and Knowledge Society, in my department at the Polytechnical University in Madrid. When we hear the word expectations, we always feel like we need something else. What are they? Expectations in what regard? Technology, economy, personal expectations? Is it expectations that the dweller in the home has in this presumably accessible and digital home? Well, expectations in this conference are going to be taken from the standpoint of the person who should and is entitled to have the right of this intelligent paradigm we've been working on for many years, regardless of technologies, but also from a social concern perspective. So in my morning presentation, I will be talking about digital, accessible, intelligent home, but not a lot, just to introduce the intelligence note. Then I will provide you with a short demo of implementations, and then we will have a look at the future, maybe not in my paper if I don't have the time, but throughout the day. When I looked at the agenda for DRT this year, I realized that many other papers were also tackling the same issue, and that they're perfectly complementary. This is like a project. We're all involved. But it's more than a project. It's more than a group of projects. It's more than a research line. It's more than all of these issues together. So my first note will be to show you two different visions of the digital home. This is what I call a vision from environment and services. Thinking about the multi-sectorial digital home, the description says it is a place where the needs of the family in terms of security, communication, control, and accessibility are seen to by the attendance of conversion services and equipment. And this vision is a vision that raises the needs of the family, the dweller. It could be somebody living on his own. Services that could be of interest with regard to improving the quality of life, personal independence, expectations with regard to society of information, and all of these to be covered even regardless of the technological expectations with social services. So this is more kind of the leitmotif for our conferences, not the typical vision that is widespread. The most typical widespread vision, which is also the one included in artificial intelligence and ubiquitous technology for computation, another convergent technology, is the DLNA, which is the first worldwide association tackling digital home concept for many years in the United States, and says that the digital home is a network in the home made up by appliances, mobile devices, and computers operating in a transparent fashion, interacting in a simple way, in an interconnected fashion. And when we manage this to get it working, it will be enriching and improving the user's experience, and it will not be the same thing as a concept that, even though it could be similar at the end but not in the origin. So these very different visions from the engineering standpoint and the social dimension. When you think about a digital home, you think about buses, standard protocol, connectivity, intelligent system, multimodal system, and many more concepts. Or you could approach that from the people standpoint, people who have a home, have a history, and they just want to have the right to enjoy everything they're entitled to. And although this is not the subject of this morning presentation, before talking about digital home, we should be talking about a home. And this is what I'm really concerned about. I've been discussing this with some of my friends at the Vodafone Foundation. The home is my cave. This is what I like to say. It's a cave where there's a history, like an anthropological history of what the person understands the cave is. Metaphorically speaking, the cave is a protecting environment that is private and is of private usage, and it's a particular consensus regarding, but it's not a home, but it's not known to everyone. So we look at expectations concerning digital home, not even tackling intelligent home and accessible home. I remember discussing with a friend, Alejandro Rodriguez Atcaso, who is here today. And I remember we were discussing this issue of expectations, facilitating contact, reducing isolation, facilitating the use of interfaces and mobile devices, facilitating leisure and entertainment, security, which is what we were talking in domotics from the very beginning, comfort, energy saving, social needs, etc. All of these are expectations. However, it is very different to talk about issues as opposed to talking about how to implement those issues. How do we mean by intelligent? In an intelligent way. This is what we will see in the coming slides. The photographs that you can see on the right are first and foremost people looking at this digital home from the outside and inside. We have images of a digital home growingly accessible, like the one we opened 3 years ago at the Polytechnical University in Madrid at the Telecommunication Engineering College, which is where I work, and it's open to anyone that can is interested. We organize training, we do research, and we're very actively present with the associations and the industry. So, of course, this is a very succinct and fast. We have technologies, we have services at the digital home, and these are like interconnectivity gateways, as the one you see in the top left on the slide, communication network sensors to gather information around the environment, which is sometimes translated to the ambient. It could be interpersonal sensor relating to the interaction of the person with the environment, biomedical interfaces that are crucial because they are the typical gateway to those services, and then domotics, teleassistance, leisure, teleteaching, telework, etc. Some of those are already shown on my slide. All these make sense, but not because we talk about design for all here today, but because now the home is really and truly accessible. And again, because this is the fundamental paradigm of design for all, I rather talk about analyzing before talking about designing when it comes to accessibility with regard to communication capabilities of the dwellers, and of course intelligent, needless to say. Accessibility, just a note, a reminder that this is related regarding this ISO standard, usability of the service, the environment, or the installation. I'd like to think about the environment today, reflect upon the environment, although there is also product and services, people with a wider variety of